Now, the National Union of Mineworkers in KwaZulu-Natal is demanding that the Mineral Resources Department withdraws the mining rights of the Zululand Anthracite Colliery. The region says it will pursue legal proceedings against the company if it continues to reduce its workforce of more than 800 individuals. For more insight on this, we're joined now by NUM KwaZulu-Natal Regional Secretary Muzikayise Zakwe. Zakwe, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. When did we move from the wage negotiations to retrenchments? I mean, early September, it seems you were still at the bargaining table, going back and forth, the company saying they are offering you salary adjustments above the current CPI. You saying you want a little bit more. You also want payment of a guarantee of an annual 13th check. How did we move from there to a point where you are now taking each other to court? There's a threat of retrenchments.
Yeah, the company is actually playing games with us as a union. We started negotiation, all was well, but we then reached a deadlock. When we reached a deadlock, we then went to CCMA, where we were granted a certificate to go on strike. We balloted to go on strike. In the middle of the strike, the company, because we were trying to engage the company while the strike was actually continuing, the company then wrote us a letter telling us that they are actually withdrawing their offer, which means at the moment we are sitting at zero because they have actually withdrawn their offer. Immediately after that, they then sent us a communication regarding Section 189, which is actually creating a problem because we are of the view that the company is taking advantage of workers, because every time we deadlock with the company, they resort into Section 189 and they put the company on care and maintenance, which is very problematic to our members.
Yeah.
So that is what is currently happening. That is why today we had to march to the Department of Minerals and Energy to say this company is not acting in good faith, because during the process of wage negotiations, we have seen their intention to retrench workers. Now that we have reached this stage, then we are saying the Department of Minerals and Energy must intervene and investigate the rationale for this retrenchment, because we are of the view that the rationale for this retrenchment is informed by ulterior motives, not necessarily that they've got valid reason to retrench workers.
So in simple terms, you're saying they are trying to use the Section 189 as a bargaining chip. They want to use it to gain an advantage in the negotiations.
They are actually bullying us, because every time when you negotiate with the company, then the issue of Section 189 comes to the picture. You are saying to workers, back off, we cannot entertain your demands because your job is at risk.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying to us.
Yeah. So talk to me about the three things that they're raising. One is the unaffordable salary increase. They're saying because of low production, high operational costs, unfavorable market conditions, they can't just afford the salary increases that you're asking for. Two, this question of the payment of guarantees, a guaranteed annual 13 check, I beg your pardon, without any commitment from your side to improve productivity.
If I may just tell you, prior to us and starting wage negotiations, the company was actually giving workers bonuses for production. Almost every month, workers were actually getting bonuses for production. We are surprised now that we are now at deadlock. Now the company is now talking about the company not being able to produce at the level that they set as their target. It is very unfortunate, because we've seen the company buying new equipment. The company has been producing and workers were getting bonuses. All of a sudden, now that we are negotiating with the company, they are saying they are not meeting targets. The issue of the markets, where they are saying the price of the anthracite coal, they've got some issues with that. It's something that we cannot entertain at this stage, because all those issues are only coming because we are now engaging with the company. Normally, when you are about to engage with the company, you will find that there'll be a workshop where the company will share with you in terms of the status of the company, in terms of what the company is doing at the market and all those things. Right. But the company did not do that with us. Yeah. Now that we are negotiating, they are bringing all these issues. And we are of the view that they are bringing these issues because they are saying to us, do not negotiate with us, take what we can offer. Yeah. And what is surprising, we're actually engaging on 1 year wage deal. All of a sudden, they came with 3 years CPI. They said, take 3 years. If you do not want to take 3 years, we are not willing to continue engaging with you. That is why I'm saying, at the moment, we are sitting at 0 because they've withdrawn all the offers that they've put on the table.
Claims of violence incidents in your strikes, buses being shot at, carrying employees, and the vandalism of electricity infrastructure. How do you respond to those claims?
Well, we cannot take accountability on something that we do not know. Because, for example, all the mining companies, you will find that from time to time, there will be element of criminality and element of vandalism that will take place. Because mining companies, majority of them, they are sitting in the communities where there are grievances. Now that we are on strike, it does not necessarily mean that whatever criminal activity that has taken place has anything to do with us. But what we said to the company about that, we said they must talk to police, they must investigate that so that they arrest those people who did that. But from where we are sitting, our members have been disciplined from the start. Even now, our members are disgruntled, but they are disciplined because they are still sticking to the picketing rules in terms of where we agreed to say this is where workers will be sitting. Yeah. So we cannot take any accountability of that, except that the company needs to talk to police and make sure that that is being investigated.
Now, there are, of course, legal instruments that govern the invoking of a Section 189 or Section 189A or whatever one you want to invoke from the Labour Relations Act. It doesn't include a condition of the mining rights. Why are you calling on DMRE to take their mining rights or withdraw their mining rights because of a Section 189 process?
We are raising that precisely because the Department of Minerals and Energy, one of their mandates is to ensure that mining industry create job opportunities. That's one of them. Secondly, the other one is that previously disadvantaged communities must benefit out of the existence of the mine. Now, if you are holding a mining right, and as and when you feel that you need to retrench workers, you do so. That is contradicting what the mandate of the Department of Minerals and Energy is. Now, that is why we are saying the company cannot, as and when they feel like putting the mine on care and maintenance, do so without consulting the license holder, because the Department of Minerals and Energy, they are the ones who are regulating these licenses. Now, you can't have a situation where a license holder is not aware that you are retrenching. Today, we had the march where we went to Department of Minerals and Energy. They said to us they are not aware that the company is retrenching. And the retrenchment that we are talking about is a large-scale retrenchment. It's not just a small scale kind of a retrenchment. Now, it cannot then be correct that a company can go ahead and retrench workers without notifying the Department of Minerals and Energy. That is why we are saying they must intervene, they must investigate so that we can get to the bottom of the rationale of this retrenchment.
Yourselves, you are also considering taking some legal action. What would you be asking the courts to do? I mean, you are obviously finding something that you're unhappy about and you want the courts to intervene. What area of law are you wanting the courts to intervene in?
It is around the issue of the rationale, because we are of the view that the rationale that the company is putting up front is not necessarily true. And we are not saying we are not going to participate in the process of a facilitated Section 189. We will sit in the Section 189 processes, but what we will then be disputing is the issue of the rationale that the company is putting up front as a reason for their retrenchments. Then if we then, because we are still seeking a legal advice from our lawyers as the union, once we are certain that their rationale is not in line with the current situation, then that's where we are going to be applying for an interdict.
I see. All right. Zakwe, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. That is the NUM in the KwaZulu-Natal region, the regional secretary there, Muzikayise Zakwe there, on their position as far as the Zululand Anthracite Colliery is concerned. Right.